Good morning, Zimbabwe. My name is Anesu Maposa from Pamushana News. Today we're joined by Comrade Gastaf Kativu, the CKD founder. Welcome to the show, Comrade.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, Zimbabwe. How are you?
Yes. Can you start by telling us more? Who is Gastaf Kativu?
Gastaf Kativu is the leader of the CKD campaign. Okay. Before I go into the CKD campaign to describe what it is all about, I want to tell you how I came to be. I was born in Mutoko, 1971. Then father died when I was 4. We went to Masvingo, and then we were brought up by my uncle from maternal side. I went to Towani Primary School and then St. Anton's High School in Zaka, Kwana Nengeze huko. From there, I went to General Tongo High School in Churugwi. From there, I went to National University. I did electronics. I'm an engineer. Then from there, I went to PTC. I worked as an engineer.
Okay.
From there, I went to the Middle East, where I did aviation, oil and gas, telecommunications, industrial control, instrumentation. And my movement, the CKD campaign, is a movement that stands for complete knockdown of establishment. What we mean by that is to say, today, if you go to ZANU-PF, you go to MDC, you can only be a minister, a member of parliament, or a board member of a parastatal on the basis of politics. You have to belong to a ruling party to be able to do that. But the CKD campaign is to say, let's knock down the establishment, to afford any citizen access to government, to become government minister, to become member of parliament, or to become a board member in a parastatal. That's it.
Okay. You've practically went through my interview. I was going to go step by step.
Okay.
What I wanted to find out was, can you tell us more about your educational and professional prowess, giving maybe specific dates and years when you attended your primary school? Because we want the people of Zimbabwe to really know who is Gastaf Kativu, so that they will be able maybe to buy into your ideas and your ideology.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want me to go one by one,
yes,
like primary school, Towani School,
yes.
Zaka District, Masvingo.
Yes.
From 1978 to 1984, I think.
Okay.
Grade 1 to 7.
Okay.
Then I moved on to St. Anton's High School in Zaka, Masvingo, from 1985 to 1988.
Okay.
From there, I went to high school, Shurugwi. Tongogara High School.
You went to Tongogara High School?
I went to Tongogara. Kwa Nema.
Okay, I was there in December. I was there. Then we continued going down.
Yes, like that.
It was on the left.
Yes.
Okay, I was there in December.
School, I was there.
Okay, interesting.
I did the high school form 5 to 6.
Okay.
There.
All right.
It was excellent. That's why I picked some philosophies of General Tongo.
All right.
Because you see me comparing Tongo to Chiwenga like that.
Okay.
The philosophy is different.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Tongo wouldn't do a coup d'etat like what Chiwenga has done.
Okay. All right. And so after A level, what did you do and which years?
After A level, I didn't go to university first.
Okay.
Because I had some little boys behind me.
Okay.
So instead of going to University of Zimbabwe to do, I was given like mining or something like that, I chose to go to PTC College.
Okay.
Okay.
Which year was that?
It was 1991, 92.
Okay.
Up to 94.
Okay.
Then I was given study leave from 94 up to 98.
Okay.
To do electronics at National University.
Okay.
Okay. So by profession, I'm engineer.
National University, you mean NAST?
NAST.
Okay.
So by profession, I'm engineer.
Okay.
Electronic.
Okay.
Specialization in telecommunications, aviation. Aviation is what I did in the Middle East.
Okay.
Because after I completed my work at Tel1 around 2006, I joined the expatriate in the diaspora.
Okay.
I worked in the Middle East as a consultant, a government consultant for the King Abdullah.
Okay.
And Sheikh Al-Fi Arabiya and Adil Malik Abdullah.
Okay. Which country was this? Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So I was doing aviation there.
Okay.
There was some bit of oil and gas, and then telecommunications.
Okay.
And then we were doing also industrial control, automation, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm quite qualified.
So when did you leave the Saudi Arabia to when did you repatriate?
I came end of 2016.
End of 2016.
But this book, this is my campaign.
Okay.
I wrote it in 2015.
Okay.
Okay. So it's about 2 years, I think, on the international market on Amazon.com.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So if you want to know more about my skills, in terms of skills, I am so fluent, for example, in aviation, that I can walk into Airbus, Boeing hangar where they are designing their aircraft. I can walk in and tell them why they are making flying coffins. When I look at Airbus or Boeing, when I compare it to Zindege is a machine, one, which uses more than Newton-Benoit engineering philosophy, because these aircraft, Airbus and Boeing, they use what we call Newton-Benoit mechanics. But Zindege will use more than that, in the sense that in the absence of engine, when the engine fails, there's no thrust. This machine does not nosedive to the ground. It will buoy to the ground to land safely. This is the new African philosophy. The basis of Zindege is coming from Giza and Great Zimbabwe, done by our forefathers. When we did Giza and the Great Zimbabwe, you know what the white men were doing? The white men were living in Caucasus mountain caves, eating uncooked dogs. You know the hot dog? The hot dog is not called hot because it is hot by temperature. But if you eat uncooked dog meat, you develop, a fever which raises your body temperature. That's why it's called a hot dog. So when we were doing the Great Zimbabwean Giza, they were eating uncooked dogs because they didn't have the fire technology at the minimum. So we can compete with them. We can even overtake them if we have the right leadership. I'm an engineer coming to contest, but the existing leadership in Africa consists of Roman Dutch law attorneys with no technology skills to confront Africa's chief problem of the lack of technology.
Okay. I like the way you're delving deeper into the interview before I even get there, which is good. At least it gives us a bit of direction. But I want really to know more about yourself. Can you tell us more about your family, which you come from, and the community that you actually grew up in? Where did Kativu come from, Gastaf Kativu?
You see, first of all, I grew up in two communities. First of all, I told you I was born in Mutoko, Muzi district. So we grew up there, Nyamapanda. My father was working at Nyamapanda border post. He was a customs officer. So there are people that I grew up with, border community, sometimes would cross into Mozambique. Tichinotenga tuma garinha in Portuguese. The chicken is called garinha. So we would cross there, we buy, we eat. But there was friends, childhood friends there. There was Lizwe, there was Nomsa, there was Manando. But I can't remember where they went, these people. From there, my father died. Then we went to Masingo. Masingo, I had another community in Zaka, around Zaka shopping area. People, they know me there. They know that guy. That young man, he was doing this and that. Then I went to, you want exactly?
There's a guy called Elvis Mugari. Do you know him? He's from Zaka.
Mugari,
he's running for independent. He's running for PDB ticket for MP for Zaka South.
I know Mugari family.
Okay.
I know Muzuri, Elias. It's just the same community.
All right.
So this is where I grew up. Dry. There's not much. There's no activity in Zaka. But I feel with this philosophy, these jobs, I feel I can transform these communities for the best.
All right. So, what inspired you to form CDK? I know you went through it a bit, but I just want you to.
You see,
really
what inspired me to form this organization is basically two reasons. Number one, marginalization of other citizens who are not in the political establishment. Remember, I said this is complete knockdown of establishment. We want to break down these political schisms so that we remain on the same platform where we can pick a minister, pick a parliamentarian, pick a board member, pick a board chair from the ordinary citizens by curriculum vitae. So I felt that the average citizen is left out in the grave train. So let's break down the establishment to afford you, as a journalist, I'll tell you, my friend, I've got Ministry of Media and Communication.
Yes.
Do you have the qualifications? Oh, apply for a job. You are evaluated your CV. If you meet the qualifications, you land the job. That's one thing. To break down establishment and afford every citizen the equal platform to become a government minister, a member of parliament, without political schism, without political affiliation. And then the other motivation is poverty in Africa. Africa is the richest continent. You see, our fathers, mothers, they're so blessed. The African continent, from the Cape to Egypt, is the gem of planet Earth. There's diamond, there's platinum, there's gold, there's everything, there's uranium. But the African people, we have nothing. Why? Because of technology, industrialization. You see, so once we begin to make these devices, the people would add value to their life. They'll get jobs. We will migrate from a developing country even to the first world, because we'll be able to make space shuttles, aircrafts, semiconductor, all those devices. So this is motivation number 2. The people of Africa are languishing in poverty when they are standing on a mountain of gold. The gold, the white man comes here, they dig, they export. Even in the neighborhood of African child who is starving. You know that if you go to Platinum, Chegutu area, I bet you go there, you'll find big companies, they are exporting platinum, but in that vicinity, you see that one child has no school fees, one child has no shoe, one child is starving to death, but billions are coming from his neighborhood. This is my motivation. This is my belief. I feel if the people can share my philosophy, we will go for it.
Okay. Can you tell us more about this flag here? I've seen there's a very interesting flag here. Can you tell us about the colors and why the Zimbabwean bird is in black and what it stands for in the meaning?
Yes, sir. Let's talk of the Zimbabwe bird. Will you say why it is in black?
Yes.
You know, this it's a hungwe. It's a hungwe bird.
Yes.
It's a fish eagle.
Yes.
It is black and a bit of white.
Okay.
So this is the closest I can be than to call it yellow. Okay. Of course, it's not yellow.
Okay.
Number one.
Yes.
Why it is on this flag, and why this flag? This flag is the original flag that was with our ancestors. That time there was no Zulu, there was no Ndebele, there was no Shona. This flag, we were one, about two. We were traveling all the way from the north to the south, occupying territory, adapting to different habitats, and that's when we changed the languages. We were speaking one language, but then as one father took his children in this direction, he adapted to a particular habitat. He lost certain syllables, like you see, Ndebele is no R, Shona is no L, but you can see the language is one. It's just adaptation into different habitats, but we are just one beautiful people. That's why when I think about Gukurahundi and its motive, I get angry, but I'm sure now. Somebody says, oh, you want to take advantage of politics. It's in my heart. Whoever vandalized the Ndebele people must pay for it. This is the flag.
The Ndebele people should pay for...
No, whoever vandalized the Ndebele people.
Okay, they should pay.
They should pay for. They should account for it.
Okay, but that's a very interesting argument. If I can take you back,
I was still on the flag.
Oh yeah, now you brought up Kukurahundi. I just want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
I remember back in the time of Mzilikazi and Lobengola, these guys used to come up to Masvingo.
Yes.
And they used to come and steal and pillage and kidnap women and taking them to Bulawayo. But no one ever seems to talk about that. Though.
People, they talk about that. You see, look at the time. The time that Mzilikazi came, crossed Limpopo up into the north. Those were the times of, civil unrests in Africa. Mufetani, Difetani, what's the pronunciation? Mufetani.
Yes.
You see,
the Great Migration.
Those times, it was survival
of
the fittest.
Yes.
People were trying to look for pasture, looking for territory. There was no civility that you find today.
Okay.
Those were the past mistakes of our ancestors. We cannot try to avenge today for those past mistakes of our elders. Otherwise, we are not getting civilized. Today, day and age, there is now the rule of law. There is now more civility than that time. the Ndebele people are now part of Zimbabwe. They are now part of our community. They are our brothers. We cannot run away from that. Well, you want us to exterminate them because Muzilikazi came and that was the past.
So what's your still on that though?
Yes.
You're bringing up very interesting points there. So what is your take on colonialism? When the white men came and took our land, and now because their argument, I remember the prime minister at the time, the foreign secretary at the time of Tony Blair, I think when they fell out with the former president Mugabe, is that when he went there to ask for money for compensation of land, they said, no, you know what, this is not our problem. Our forefathers are the one who took the land and we're a new generation. So is that what you're saying, that people should then forget that?
No. Let's talk first of all Ndebele Shona.
Yes.
Ndebele Shona, I told you before, we are a family. Our founding fathers and mothers were eating from one plate. But then who then separated, adapted to different habitats, had little linguistic differences. We are one people. The fact that the Ndebeles crossed down to Limpopo, then come back, it doesn't distinguish them from us. We are family.
We are the same people, yes.
Let's not mix that with the white people. Europeans, they own Europe. That's the land of their fathers. Africa
is for Africans.
For Africans.
Yes.
The conflict between Ndebele and Shona, it's a tribal skirmish, but we belong to Africa. This land is a shared land. The white men, they have Europe. When they move on to Africa to occupy, that's another issue. This is the land of our African fathers. They have Europe. We don't have claim on Europe. Europe is theirs, Africa is ours. So when they took our land, of course it's our land, we need it back for sure.
Yes.
The land is ours.
Yes. I nearly forgot though. So you said the Wungwe bed is black, and this is the closest you get to it.
The closest, yes.
Is there, what is the meaning of the black and the blue on the flag?
This flag, I said, these were the key colors of our ancestors.
Okay.
Before they adapted to different habitats and became tribes.
Okay.
The colors are black and blue. Black symbolizes everything that you cannot see and what you cannot understand.
Okay.
You go to a funeral procession, you see they put on black.
Wear black, yes.
Because we are now going into the spiritual realm.
Okay.
You don't know when somebody dies, where the spirit goes, what happens. That's why they use black.
Okay.
Blue stands for everything that you understand, that you can also see.
Okay.
Okay?
So it's more of light and darkness.
Light and darkness. So now, let me take you to the Zimbabwe flag. White and black. You see, once you juxtapose white and black together, white, if you go to the Europeans, they'll tell you, white is the color of righteousness.
Pure.
White is the color of purity, of peace, of goodliness, of everything nice. But then the opposite of white is black. And then black symbolizes perhaps evil, chaos, abyss. Then you are now a pony in the game of racial politics.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay?
Makes a lot of sense.
Thanks.
And just to take it back, when I met you initially before the interview, I tried to shake your hand.
Yes.
And you said you don't do that. Is it spirituality? Is it your faith? What is it about?
You see, this lock.
Yes.
If you go into the Bible,
Yeah.
you see Samson has got a lock. You see Samuel has got this dreadlock.
Yes.
This dreadlock is called a Nazarite vow.
Nazarite vow.
Nazarite vow.
Okay.
When you keep this lock, what it means is that you want to do set specific issues that relate to goodliness or service to the people. But when you keep this lock, it has got rules that defile this lock.
Okay.
Like if you take another man's wife, you defile this lock. If you take another man's daughter without marriage, you defile this lock. If you eat certain food, you defile this lock. If you hold a man who has made his violations, you also defile this law. So it is got rules, you know.
Okay.
I'm not trying to separate myself from other people.
Yes.
But I'm trying to comply to the rules of this law.
Okay.
But I can accommodate anyone. Look here, I can go to a nightclub with you, we can discuss. I can go to a beer hall, you can drink your beer while I'm talking to you nicely.
Okay.
You can smoke, you can do anything. There's no separation between you and me. But when it comes to laws that concern my hair and my calling, I may not allow you to,
So is
to
it
vandalize that.
is it defy it? Is it more of African tradition religion?
Yes, Africa. This is
Okay.
Jaminuka used to keep dreadlock.
Okay.
Nehanda that you see on the pictures, they already cut her head
Okay.
because she was now a convict and now she was waiting for the death penalty.
Oh, she had dreadlocks.
She had dreadlock, Kaguvi, Mulimo in
Matebeleland.
Yeah, they were all dreadlocked because there is power in this hair.
Interesting.
Okay, when Samson lost this hair,
He lost
the power.
Okay.
It came back when the hair grew. Okay?
Okay.
That's why I'm shaking Chiwenga in Mnangagwa, of course.
That's why you what?
I'm shaking Chiwenga in Mnangagwa, of course.
Okay. So is there meaning behind the cloth that you? What does it symbolize?
This clothing, it's simplicity, humility.
Okay.
The ancestors, they used to put on the simple clothing. But I'm not saying go out there with those short ones. No.
Yes.
This is just humility.
Okay.
I'm not going to put on those expensive Gio Valiano suits when the African children are starving. I would rather hand over food to those children than put a Gio Valiano suit
that makes sense.
Simple.
It makes
and besides, should I be elected into power, I will not reside in State House. I will live in Misasa, in the open ground with the community. I will not take a salary from the fiscus.
Okay.
This is me.
Okay.
I will eat what they eat, drink what they drink, stay with them. Okay. Nobody that you see me coming here. I'm saying a lot of statements about the establishment, Mnangagwa, Chiwenga, but I don't carry a bodyguard with me.
Yes.
Myself. They have so many bodyguards, the soldiers, the sharpshooters. I just walk in town.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of anyone.
Yes.
They call him the crocodile. I see a lizard in him. Right.
Okay. And is there? So what? So are you going to be contesting in the upcoming elections?
I will contest the upcoming elections on the CKD campaign ticket because we are going to field the only candidate for the presidency.
Oh, you just feel
because I told you the parliament will come from the citizens on the basis of their merit, what they have done to the community. Thomas Mafumo has done so much in the music industry.
Yes.
He is a member of parliament by virtue of that.
Okay.
Tuku, John Robertson, Byron Black, Stella Chiweshe, they have done.
Like what they did with Kanda Bongoman. I remember he was a minister of sports and recreation.
That's what I want. Okay? So this is the deal. So they will field only one guy for the presidency. We contest. If we win, we will appoint the government from citizens on the basis of curriculum vitae. The parliament on the basis of your credit.
Okay.
Like
so if you started campaigning, have you been hitting the ground running?
My campaign, it started in first of all, it started 2 years ago. This book.
Okay.
This is the CKD campaign manifesto. It's called CKD Campaign Leadership After Robert Mugabe, the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution. This is where we talk of the government's model, these jobs for the citizens. This is where we started. Okay? For your own information, you've heard about the command agriculture, reforms in education, stuff like that. They all copied it from here.
Okay.
They bought this book. They saw it was so beautiful. They look at the.
You said this book is available on Amazon.
Amazon.com.
It's being sold for $10.
About
$10 US.
It's supposed to be cheaper than that, but because it has got so many colors, they say no. Once you prescribe color, then it goes to maybe $10 or more than that.
So how much? How many pages is it?
It is about 80 pages, 70 pages of manifesto.
Okay.
So this is the campaign. This is how I started 2 years ago. Now. We don't do rallies. Why? Rallies are old school politics. The political dinosaurs in Zamzano people. They will tell you, come to our rally. And when you go to the rally, you sit in the sun. And then they say, viva so and so, viva this and that.
Yes.
You have no job, you are hungry. We are not doing that. The CKD campaign, this is the leadership of tomorrow. Young, open up mind, brilliant ideas, zindege. What we do, we tell you, my friend, we know, we can look at your face, we know you are jobless. Okay? This is the manual for jobs. There are companies that we have, which are vacant, Pezulu for manufacture of escalators, elevators, moving walks, Tulam Twana, Nyararamana for the manufacture of toys and games, another company for medical instruments, industrial instruments and centers, lighting system, Chigaduro for mining equipment and earth movers. We say, okay, my friend, these are companies that we have formulated because we understand the problem in Africa, unemployment. Choose your company based on your resume, based on your abilities, and fill in your job form. So we have road shows where we give citizens jobs. While in ZANU-PF and MDC, it's all Viva Ningi, Viva so and so, like that. We are a different organization, different philosophy, different approach to people problem, like that.
So have you started doing any rallies at the meantime, and which areas have you covered?
I've done, we have done, sorry, not I. I've got, my team, my campaign team, it's different philosophy altogether. You know what I do? What I did? If you go on this website,
okay,
sites.google.com/site/CKD campaign. You go on this website, there is an advert for the campaign team. The campaign teams are 10, one in each province.
Okay.
How are they made up of? They are made up of specialists in electrical, electronic, medical equipment, farming. These are specialists. So these specialists, they have a truck carrying some technology models. We have made a model of an elevator. We have made a model of a toy, a model of a space shuttle. We have made a Kurumbi.
You've made a model of a space
We have model.
Okay.
If you go on YouTube, you Google a CKD campaign, you see the models.
Okay.
So these will be carried by each campaign team to go to the provinces to illustrate, to demonstrate the simplicity of technology, the simplicity of industrialization. That if the white men are making aircrafts at Airbus and Boeing, or space shuttle at NASA or SpaceX, we will make Zindege with Zindege. We will make Chitundum Seremsere or Mulimo in Zimbabwe. And therefore, it will make the jobless citizens understand the simplicity of engineering, the simplicity of technology, that their jobs, which I'm talking about here, they are straightforward, they are guaranteed. These companies are empty. They are on day one. I will give people jobs. I talked to Feruka Oil Refinery. Feruka, an oil refinery is one process. This is a fractionating column. You pump your crude oil at the beginning, you heat it, it goes up by evaporation. When it gets up here, you maintain a constant temperature for the separation of, say, diesel. And then it separates, you sell at 50 cents a liter. This is how simple it is. This is what separates the CKD campaign from the old school politics of ZANU-PF, MDC and stuff like that.
Okay, so is CKD a briefcase organization? Is it registered or is it?
It's not a briefcase. We are in the database of the Electoral Commission. But before I go into the CKD campaign, let me talk about Zimbabwe Electoral Commission.
Yes.
The Z does not stand for Zimbabwe. It stands for ZANU-PF Electoral Commission. That organization, we will allow it to run ZANU-PF party primaries, ZANU-PF provincial primaries. But when it comes to the electoral, the national ballot, the referenda, that organization, it is no business there. We want to invite, as civic organizations, the political parties, we want to invite the United Nations to run our next election on the format of 1980 election. You were not yet born.
I wasn't born. I was born in 1980.
That election, it was run by United Nations with monitors and personnel, and you only needed an ID badge and you vote. Nobody complained about any abnormality. It was perfect. That's what we want. The military junta led by Emerson Mnangagwa and Constantine Guvea Chiwenga through Gushungo, Robert Mugabe, we hear that they rigged 2008 election to favor ZANU-PF. And we will not allow the same electoral cheats to rig the next election. If we allow them to do that, then we are stupid. And if they try to force an election on us, it's a declaration of war. If Chiwenga thinks that he only can hold a gun and shoot at his enemies to keep his rights and power, if he thinks like that, he is naive and stupid.
So who would fight that war?
That war? The citizens will fight that war.
Citizens will rise. Okay.
They crossed into Zambia and Mozambique because their rights were violated. If you are in Zimbabwe, you are an engineer, 90% unemployment, you are singing blues in the streets, you are violated. I tell you, you may have patience, but the patience will thin out. You will do what is necessary to defend your rights. Like Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, they crossed into Zambia and Mozambique. We will do the same. If push comes to shove.
Okay, so I remember reading the press. I once came across an article which was saying that you've been arrested before for doing some activism. Can you tell us more about your activism side?
My good friend, I won't say much because the issue is under the courts.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be sub judice.
Okay.
But then, the issues that I was raising at the ZANU-PF conference in December. These issues were relating to what has already been reported by the Catholic Commission for Justice, which implicated Mnangagwa, Parents Shiri, in the Gukurahundi atrocities. I was trying to say something relating to that. So this information is already
In the
public domain. It's not an offense at all. If they want to arrest people on that basis, then Catholic Commission for Justice should have been on remand together with me.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The other issues I was talking about, you see, after the ascent of Chiwenga and Mnangagwa onto the presidency, they have no clue on how to create jobs. You know what they are doing? People are selling merchandise in the streets to survive 90% unemployment, which was created by this very same ZANU-PF to which Gouveia belongs. So Gouveia is saying, no, I want to beat you. Get the hell out of the streets. Because I want to maintain Harare to the level of 1980, 1985, so that the tourists will come and laugh at the streets. But people have families to feed. They want... You see, the CKD campaign says, we will not beat vendors from the street. This is the whip that we will use to the vendors. The job form, we will give them jobs, my friend. We have jobs in aviation. We want to make an aircraft. We will give you $4,000. Do you want to sell vegetables or you want to work for Zindegi? They will choose. We will see how many people will be there in the streets at the end of the day when CKD time comes. Okay.
So in terms of what other activism programs have you been involved to apart from the one in Bulawayo?
Not the one in Bulawayo. I was not in Bulawayo. Bulawayo is another team.
You were not there?
I was in the conference here is 15th December.
Okay,
yes.
The Congress.
Bulawayo, folks, keep the steam running. We need to push out this military junta. It's another team that was in Bulawayo.
Okay.
I was in Harare. And above this, we have another program. We want to rally around civic society, political parties, rights movement. We will convene a conference to try and work out the signatures to indict Emmerson Damzu Mnangagwa, Constantine Gouveia Chiwenga, Parents Shiri, among other accomplices for crimes against humanity. Not only Gukurahundi. You told me why you so much worried about Gukurahundi. We are talking of all the violations that have happened since 1980. We're talking of Gukurahundi. We're talking of political disappearances in the early 80s, 90s. Remember, Rashiwe Guja was a lady. Up to now, we don't know where she is. Can you imagine that the organization of big men and big people, they'll come down to a little lady with no crime at all. They take her, they vandalize her. Can you imagine that system? From there, we will go to election violence, 2000, 2002, 2005, 2008. Then you remember Operation Mrambatsvina, where
2005, was it?
Yes, 2005. People lost their accommodation. You know what ZANU-PF could have done? ZANU-PF could have gone to those shelters and regularize them and maybe break off or demolish a few extremities that were maybe on infrastructure lines. But those guys, they didn't do that. You know why? Because the people came from the rural areas to urban areas where there was a little political freedom. So ZANU-PF thought if people come to the urban areas where there's political freedom, they will vote us out of power. And it was already too late because in 2008, ZANU-PF lost, right? So the scheme of Mrambatsvina was to thwart people on political lines. It did nothing to do with illegal settlements. So that given, we will go to Chiadzwa. The violators of Chiadzwa, it was called the Operation Hakudzoki. They are so daring. Operation Hakudzoki, you go there, we will kill you. People died, they were buried in shallow graves in Hakudzoki by the army. Chiwenga is a culprit.
Is there evidence for this?
There is evidence. We can give them evidence.
Okay.
To the end.
Okay.
There is this guy, what's his name? The funny guy who reported the coup d'etat. We are escalating this. That guy he is in one DRC. There are issues regarding to abuse of citizens, displacement of citizens in the DR Congo, looting, bloody diamonds. There are reports from United Nations, not from Kativu, from United Nations implicating that dude. You know, but people, they are clapping hands at him like that. People are crying in DR Congo because of their involvement in the plunder of a Republic of Congo resources. So this is what we do. This is the action that we will do. We will mobilize people to sign for the indictment of this gang, to go to the ICC. They cannot be tried here. Why? Because this gang is too powerful.
Yes.
They've got too many friends in the judiciary.
Yes. So it's a very good plan, but looking that the elections are around the corner, when is there a time scale for this?
Yeah, there is a time
It's going
scale.
to be before or after elections, or?
Before the elections.
Okay.
We have already told them that elections cannot be held by this same military junta that rigged 2008 elections. They know they rigged. They have confirmed to us. Their top brass, Robert Mugabe, he has told the nation that we were beaten in 2008. I had opted to get out, but Chiwenga Mnangagwa says, if you move, we will vandalize you. So this team is the one that are the troublemakers. People now, they can maybe begin to sympathize with Gushingo because he had opted to resign, but these thugs, they said, no, if you move, we will take care of you.
Yes.
So we lost 10 years, my friend, of development. From 2008, if we had proceeded as from then, we could be unbelievable. But no, there's no cash in the banks, 90% unemployment, because of this crack. We must kick them out. At the earliest, before they establish root, they are even more dangerous than the ex-president. They are a bigger menace than Mugabe. Imagine Mnangagwa and Chiwenga establishing roots in Zimbabwe. How will you remove that gang? No chance.
Yes. So in such harsh economic environment in Zimbabwe,
Yes.
how is CKD managing in terms of finding finances and stuff like that? How are you pulling through?
It's tough because politics is money. You want to hire a venue, you pay. You want fuel for transport, you pay. You want to advertise your rallies or your roadshows, you pay. It's difficult. ZANU-PF MDC, they are covered by Political Parties Finance Act. They go into the fiscus. They drafted the laws that don't include us. Laws that include only them. So they share the taxpayers' money to prolong their stay in power. We, the newcomers, we have no money. That's why I wrote this book. I personally wrote this book to fundraise for the campaign. There are some sales that are happening right now on Amazon. Maybe the viewers may be interested, may want to help the campaign. This book is available on amazon.com/DP /15307535511.
Okay.
Sales are coming on board.
Okay.
But the problem, guess what? Because we don't have an offshore account. They are sending us checks, bank check. They send us bank checks. We go to the bank. We are told we cannot bank check. We cannot be cleared. The country, the banking system, it cannot clear international checks. It's a pariah state. How do you do business? How do you promote investment when you cannot process a bank check? I have Amazon checks which cannot be processed. I have returned some. There is proof. I can give proof to you.
Okay.
It's there in my phone.
Okay.
The bank, I mean, maybe I may not need to mention the bank's names for some legal reasons, but I've got evidence here to show you that a bank says we cannot bank your check
Okay.
for reasons A, B, C, D. They cannot process the checks. But
But how's the book selling though on eBay, on Amazon?
the book is selling because now this book, it has to do with politics.
Yes.
It makes more sense towards the campaign period.
Yes.
It's performing quite well.
Okay.
And we very grateful to the people, especially in the diaspora. They are the one who have got accounts that can buy online, and then they ship it to you. It comes by shipment.
Okay.
They send directly to you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So we selling books, and then but we appealing to people in the diaspora in Zimbabwe who are interested to fund this CKD campaign. If you see the ideas are good, in Zimbabwe we've got EcoCash account, Telecash account, One Wallet. There's banking details are available on sites.google.com
Okay.
/site/CKD campaign. If people are interested to finance this initiative, the banking details are available on site.
Okay. All right. So, if people want to get in touch with you, what is the number? What are your contact details?
The contact details are available on. First of all, my Facebook account has been suspended by Facebook.
Why?
They say that there are people trying to vandalize my site, security concerns.
Okay.
But I think it's a geopolitical issue, because I have an issue with the owner of the social network of
Mark Zuckerberg.
yes, it's a Jewish land to
Okay.
conflict over the history of the Hebrews.
Okay.
Who are the Hebrews?
Okay.
Who is it? Were they Jewish or were they Bantu? The Bantu migration, when does it come from? Does it come from Guru Squad, or it come from the Middle East? So I wrote a book which they didn't like. I was
What is the title
the
of the
book
book?
is called The Bonafide Hebrews of the Books of Moses.
Okay.
Like, who are the Bonafide
But
Hebrews?
this-
Is it the Jews or it is Bantu?
Yes.
So there are some writings that I wrote they didn't like. I was selling it on Facebook.
But these guys, these are Hasidic Jews. These are Ashkenazi Jews. This is not the original Jew, is it?
You see, when you say Jew, you are saying the children of Judah. Judah was a Hebrew. We must talk of the whole family,
Okay.
Abraham's children. So these are the things that I talked about.
Okay.
These guys, some of them, they descend from European tribes.
Kazakhstan,
Yes, which embraced
Ashkenazi.
which embraced Hebrew culture. In Hebrew culture, if you come to Africa, the way we marry, the way we sanctify the bulls, the sanctified bull, that one is a sanctified bull. If you look at the strong drink offering, if you look at the Sabbath, it's called Chisingare Minchona. It's from the forefathers, from time immemorial. If you look at the way we approach a holy place, we don't put on the shoes, take away the shoes. The place on which you are going is holy ground. The bulk of African culture, you compare it to what was taught by Moses, is the same. So when I wrote that, I had a confrontation with the biggies at global level. They were not happy, stuff like that. So available on Facebook, and then Twitter, and then we have got website, and then people who want to.
What is your Twitter handle?
The Twitter handle is called CKD campaign.
Okay, all right.
Go follow CKD campaign. We can push in a few ideas about our things.
Is it active?
It is active.
Okay.
But it is not activity too much, because not much is happening. We are not sending too much on that.
Okay.
Then we also have YouTube. We have got YouTube productions. We've produced part of our campaign.
So the YouTube is this still CKD?
The CKD
The
campaign.
campaign.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
I'll
the
look it up.
CKD
Yes,
campaign.
yes.
Or you can Google the leader, Gastaf Kativu, or the CKD campaign. You will see the technology models that we've made to say to people, it is so simple to industrialize. It is so simple to give people jobs. This is how you get a job. This is how you can apply. It's free for all.
Okay. So do you have any business or companies that are running right now?
I cannot give the names yet, but because I've been in the Middle East for 10 years. I bought some industrial properties.
Okay.
But I'm not directly running those properties.
Okay.
They are being run by other people. This is the political. These are the requirement that you don't get directly involved.
Okay.
So part of those companies, sometimes I ask for money from the profits. I say, is there money that I can use under my directorship? They give me some money and I plow it into politics for the betterment of my country.
Okay. Just briefly before we round up,
Yes.
do you have any other areas that you'd like to briefly clarify that you think maybe we didn't touch on? Just briefly.
First of all, I will talk about the political environment, the coup d'etat. What does that mean for the coup d'etat? The coup d'etat, Chiwenga has created a precedent for instability in Zimbabwe, because anyone now can go to General Tongo barracks. You can talk to the soldiers. My friends, I've got money in the bank, I can give you this and that. Let's go to the government, let's take off power. This is never done before. So by doing so, Chiwenga has created a precedent for instability that now puts Zimbabwe on the same business and investment ranking as Somalia or Liberia, which is bad for jobs, bad for business. And other issues, they relate to street vendors. Already discussed about it. We will give jobs. If the military junta has no solution to street problems, they should ship out. Now they have given an ultimatum to the vendors that within 48 hours they should get out. My message to the vendors is, let Chiwenga and Mnangagwa bring to you job contracts. They give you jobs in aviation, jobs in semiconductors, jobs in aerospace. From there, from the streets, you go to a company, you work. If they don't do that, stay put. Sell merchandise to sustain your family, because Chiwenga is not going to come to you with a basket of porridge to give your child. Not at all. Then there are other issues that I want to talk about, like the vicious crocodile. We want to tame the vicious crocodile. One political personality, he calls himself the crocodile. And us, the citizens, we are called lizards. But my message is, we need to tame the vicious crocodile into a harmless lizard, so that we can live together as free citizens.
How are you going to? How will you be able to tame the vicious crocodile?
The vicious crocodile, I've already begun. That's why I can walk around. I can say anything that I want to the crocodile. That's why I am the only guy who says, in my philosophy, in my mind, I don't have a crocodile. I have a lizard. If you go to the website, you will see me standing on the head of the crocodile, which means on 15 December 2017, the situation was, Robert Mugabe, as you know him, he fears the crocodile. The citizens fear the crocodile. ZANU-PF afraid of the crocodile. But I stood up, literally stood on his head, and people, they are reading about me. That's why I can freely say the crocodile is just a lizard to me. Slowly, the citizens will begin to understand, oh, this guy, what is he talking about? He's saying we can tame the vicious crocodile into a lizard. He's not dead. Nobody's killing him. Let's follow him. And then slowly, you begin to have confidence, self-belief, that no one should call himself a crocodile when others are being called lizards. We should all be on the same level of humanity.
Sure.
That's one issue. Then, upon Mnangagwa's ascent to power, even the rain has not rained. Heaven has withheld rains. It's bad luck. And besides, he has been with the president for 50 years. They've tried everything. There's nothing new coming from him. He's over 70 years, past his sell-by date. Labor laws, they say when you're 65, you are done in the mind and in the body. Why should we waste another generation of our time with him? Another 38 years of wasted time. It's useless. And you want me to sing an anthem for Mnangagwa?
Yes.
Handidi kutongwa ne mondi, handidi kutongwa ne mondi wako man. Aiwaiwa unengozi, unengozi dambudzo we. Aiwaiwa unengozi, unengozi dambudzo we. Aiwaiwa unengozi. You see, Zimbabwe is a righteous nation. My friend, when I look at you, your face, you look guiltless to me. You look guiltless to me. Why should you have on top of you somebody with skeletons in his cupboard? His name must be cleared on issues of Gukura Wundi, political violence, and then we will accept him, whatever position he is. But for now, to us, he's got skeletons in his cupboard. He must be cleared.
Okay.
And also, Tsvangirai, modern Tsvangirai,
Yes.
suddenly, he has developed cancer after government of national unity. And if we zero in on Dambudzo to say, can you explain how Tsvangirai was poisoned, perhaps with cancer cell laced in the food, or a cancer chemical that when ingested will promote the growth of cancer in the body, we may get some information. We are dealing with a bunch of people not less evil than Satan himself. What else? Before I can round it up. You see, and finally, when you are talking to a soldier, how do you talk to a soldier? Do you go to Chiwenga and say, oh, Guvea or Guvu, say, excuse me, say, what do? We are pleading for an election by United Nations. Can you hear us say, Chiwenga? You don't talk like that to a soldier. You know what you do? You take a gun, you cock it, you make sure he hears, you point at his forehead and say, oh, Chiwenga. Next election is, we want it by United Nations. You hear him say, Kativu, yeah. So what we doing? That's the language that you use when you talk to a soldier. You don't go and bow down in him and say, oh, Mr. Chiwenga. No. You cock a gun, point at his forehead and say, that's what we will do. Okay. And then eventually, the other issues I discussed about them in the conference, to say that citizens, the revolution is not over. The fall of Robert Mugabe was just the fall of a revolution. Perpetrators and kingpins who were with him from 1980 are still in charge. We must rid ourselves of that. Because even when I left jail, Attorney Job Sikala is my attorney. I am very grateful of him, what he has done to me, my family. Attorney Job Sikala and family, they avoid me of possible kidnapping by the military unit. The Itai Zamara way. Proving to us that nothing has changed with or without Robert Mugabe. So, a luta continua, the revolution is not over, it's not yet Uhuru. Besides, my son, my very own son, who was Prince Edward High School head boy, because they were confusing him with me, because we share the same name. I'm Gastaf Kativu, he's Gastaf Kativu. He felt threatened. He fled to America.
When did this happen?
Recently, when they put me in jail.
Okay.
That's when he went.
How many kids do you have?
I have 5 kids,
Okay.
3 boys and
2 girls.
3 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, 3 girls and 2
Yes,
boys.
sir.
Okay.
My wife is Winnie.
So Gustaf is the oldest.
The oldest is a girl.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, before I can just finish off, the coup d'etat, I have explained the significance.
Yes.
That by staging a coup d'etat, ZDF have transformed themselves from the world's most disciplined army, inculcated by the philosopher General Tongo, where I went to school in Mujuru. But ZDF are now a rogue militia courtesy of Guvea, who fail to understand that military rule belongs to the Stone Age. I think it's a matter of intellect. Look at Guvea. When he was trying to read the speech, he couldn't read the English language. He said, a level of education is dead. Now,
but he's a holder of, I understand he's a holder of a master's degree.
Master's degree maybe from the internet, or the one they issued for at UZ there. You say, after a doctorate or a PhD, you ask him about what he has done. He doesn't understand it. Me, I don't hold a PhD. I don't hold a professorial qualification. I'm an engineer. But highly skilled. I told you I can go to Airbus and Boeing and tell them these are flying coffins. Sindego will not be like that. So, what we are trying to say about ZDF is that it's a disaster. And then, ZANU-PF have sold us a dummy through the coup d'etat. ZANU-PF is a basket of bad apples. And to pick one bad apple called Gushungo and start ululating Kutunga Kwaro, it's missing the point, foolhardy. You need to take the full basket of bad apples called ZANU-PF, you dump it onto the compost for another 38 years while we organize ourselves as citizens.
Yes.
And then, lastly, Kutonga Kwaro Gamba, who is a hero. All the heroes of the liberation struggle did not live to reach the promised land. Why? Because Gamba, or my heroes, they go in the battlefront. They are the one to receive the bullets. Guvea and Dambudzo, they came from war not even with scratches, because they were villains. That's in the rear of the battlefront, the rear of the battle, scheming of future diamond riches. That's why today, when you compare General Tongo, was a war legend, but he doesn't have a single carat of diamond to his name. But look at Guvea and Dambudzo. They have billions of dollars. You ask Robert Mugabe and Angeline Tokogara, they'll tell you Dambudzo was T-boy ya Mugabe, and Chiwenga was T-boy ya Tongo. But now these are the larger than life figures now, because Mbwende or the villains, they scheme other things in a war. In a military confrontation, they are busy calculating their profits at the rear of the battle. That's why they are making so much music.
Okay, interesting.
I'm done. Yes,
Thank you very much, Gastaf Kativu, the CKD founder, for such an insightful and interesting interview. I would like to welcome you if you've got future events that you want us to come and cover you. Pamushana News is there. If you want to broadcast anything, you just let us know. We'll be very happy to come and do that for you.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, my friend.
Okay.
I'm so grateful of Pamushana News, and viewers, keep the fire going. A luta continua. The struggle has just begun. We must rid ourselves of this chaff, these bad apples, so that we can rule ourselves, people with no skeletons in the cupboard, young minds, young leaders. And one more thing, with Robert Mugabe out of the equation, Tsvangirai, we hear, is indicating exit. The real contest will be on youthful leaders.
Yes.
I thank you.
Thank you very much. Until we meet again, bye-bye.